my presentation are exactly the same, right? So I'll rather not give a lot of time here. What I'll do is I'll show you my SOP, and then maybe what you can do is to all the participants, try to see if whatever Surya told you, whether it's applicable in my SOP to some extent or not. Like it will give you an idea, right? So maybe just some inspiration or just anecdotally what I felt was right, when I was writing my SOP. So I'll just quickly go through the points that I have in my presentation, then we'll move on to my SOP, right? So because I think the points that I've written is mostly the same as what Surya basically explained. So yeah, so you have to narrate your story. So don't list your achievements, you have to narrate it. Okay, so it's exactly the same. Then what the selection committees look for is basically motivation for this internship in particular. Not only, okay, I like research, I'm very well motivated for clinical research, so why CCMB? So is one of the questions that they might look out for in your answer. So any prior research experience, which is not compulsory, as I might tell you by the fact that a lot of our people there at CCMB who were selected did not have particularly like prior research experience. But see, motivation is important. Evidence of prior research is not compulsory, but you should have an ability to communicate your motivation through your SOP, and a plan for what you'll gain and contribute in the longer run. Yeah, what you will gain out of this internship is something that needs to be there in your SOP. Again, a clear plan. So again, basic do's and don'ts is exactly the same. So I'll rather show you my SOP and I'll like read it and maybe like pause in between and try to explain what I'm trying to do there. So as you can see on the screen right now, this was my SOP when I was applying to CCMB. So so it's like three or four paragraphs, yeah. So in the first paragraph, as you can see, it's like a basic introduction, right? So, as an undergrad medical student and passionate research enthusiast, I've always been drawn to science transformative power. A basic example of who I am, like my background, basic, not too much into specifics, like okay, I'm from this college and all that. So, the second line says, my journey into the world of science research began in my early school days. So here's an example, right? So specific example and a true example of how I actually started to like the concept of research, right? So as in the third line, as you can see, there's this line: the establishment of Atal Tinkering Lab at my school by the government became a defining moment in my academic life. There I spent countless hours experimenting and observing biological processes, which is in fact true. So I think in this case, in my case, especially in my SOP, it's the story, is the background that gives me a strong hold, right? So to communicate that I am very motivated for this program. And in the fourth line, there I spent countless hours experimenting and observing biological processes, which ignited my curiosity. Again, a very true example. Nothing over the top, and nothing too generic. So my aptitude for research deepened as I cleared, a little bit of about my achievements and stuff. Not too much, but yeah, again, I just did not list them out, but kind of narrated. So because of this background, my aptitude, my aptitude for research increased, and thus I also cleared some national level science exams like NTSC and NSCJS. So in the second paragraph, I continue with my story that okay, with this background, I then chose to pursue medicine because, and here's a plan as well, because I believe it can bring a positive impact on people's life, right? So and create a meaningful emotional connection with the humans I'll heal, which is again true. So again, not too much into jargon, right? So for example, I chose medicine because I can do this, that. Okay, not too much, too much positivity is like it gives you that vibe that okay, it's not true. Okay, just a couple of lines. Truly speaking, medicine and research are my ikigai. Again, I would say a very important point. Ikigai is something that, according to Japanese philosophy, is something that gives you a sense of purpose. So again, I'm trying to communicate that. So in my case, it's not very common, but in my case, I did have prior research experience because I went to IISc prior to going to CCMB. But honestly, that's not how it usually goes. So you don't need to worry about that because, as my friends would tell you, it's usually the opposite way. Like people get selected to CCMB, they'll learn a bit about how research actually goes, and then go to IISc, if they get selected for the IISc internship. But anyways, so I did explain in like a couple of lines that I did have the privilege of working on a research project during my IISc internship. Again, not too much technical jargon, just Zika virus pathogenesis at IISc, and what this experience gave me in terms of, my career trajectory. Then in the next paragraph is one of, again, the unique experiences, names and stuff. One of my greatest inspiration is Dr. Gagandeep Kang FRS. She's basically a professor at Christian Medical College, Vellore, and uh, basically I would say the god woman of vaccines in India. I don't know if that's a thing, but that's why she was awarded the Royal Society Fellowship. So again, her work is very groundbreaking. So that's what I've briefly explained. And examples like these gives you a bit of authenticity, and that's what I would believe, which is true in my case as well, because I genuinely was inspired by how she basically did research and tried to translate it to actual groundbreaking stuff. Going to slums in and around Chennai and all that, uh, with the very initial rotaviral and typhoid vaccines in India. And then I move forward with what I plan to get out of this internship through the MedSRT. I aspire to bring my research ideas, which I constantly ponder over, to life, which is true because if you are getting trained in research methodologies, then you can definitely do that. And this program offers me the opportunity to transform these ideas into tangible solutions again. So then I basically tell them that if I get this opportunity, it will definitely have an impact on my career. Because here in the next line, I just add the fact that it will become a launching pad for my journey to become a leading HIV researcher. After completing my undergrad, I plan to enroll in an MD PhD dual degree program to achieve my dream of becoming a clinician scientist. Okay, so the point is, so basically give them a path. Okay, the reality is, see, goals change every time. Okay, for example, right now I might not be thinking about enrolling in MD PhD, but the point is, it gives them a direction. Okay, I think for me, I think it's almost perfect, right? So I need your program because it will actually help me in my journey as a clinician scientist. And this is exactly what it's for. Like the MedSRT is exactly for this thing, to cultivate the next generation of clinician scientists. And then following this, I intend to complete my medical residency in internal medicine and all that. So you give them a timeline of what you intend to do, so that it shows them that their program can actually be helpful for you, right? Not just because you like research and all that. Give them a clear cut, um, I would say, path. Show them your path, and where exactly this internship fits in your path. And in the last para, I just go with through this fellowship. Again, I am eager to learn from some of the world's leading scientists. Again, a little bit of buttering up, and learn how to conduct research that can make a tangible difference. And I'm confident that MedSRT will help me refine my research methodology and bring me closer to my goal of conducting world-class research as a clinician scientist. So just I've just briefly given you an idea of how I wrote my SOP, and I think retrospectively, I think a lot of points that Surya just mentioned, you know, are applicable in this. So you got an idea, you got a live example of how it works, right? So I think that would be all from my side.